This week we finished that IOD inlay cabinet and a kitty adopted us. Watch also at the end of the video where we show you a cottage project that we started for this space to create even more outdoor living for the summer. Over the past month on our live stream here on YouTube, we've been transforming the bottom of this hutch into a French country piece. Today we're going to finish it.
Okay, so that's where we are so far with this. Once this inlay is applied, we need to seal that in place before we add any additional finish to it. This Mr. It says it is 1/2 top coat and water. So I have mixed 1/2 and 1/2 of a clear polyacrylic sealer with water. I don't fill this whole thing, and every time I use my Mr. with this top coat stuff in it, I will then plunge this into some dish soapy water in a big large cup, and I'll squeeze the dickens out of that and make sure that I run a lot of that soapy water through my nozzle mechanism and the spray mechanism, and then I'll run clear water through it because it can clog this up very quickly. So you could also use fixative, and that's a spray. It is stinky, right? So I didn't want to have to be spraying that down here in the basement. So I decided we're going to go with our 1/2 and 1/2 top coat and water. So I have already done I'm just going to give this a light spray, and after it dries, I'll do another spray. You know, the more we do this, it's like we definitely look for those pieces that are much more function than form. If there's 100 dressers out there for sale, right? You can find a dresser anywhere. But when it comes to storage pieces, like this size in particular is so important. So we always look for that. Can it function in different rooms? Can somebody use it for different purposes? So for a piece like this, for example, I could see this just popped at the end of a hallway. I could see it used in a bathroom to hold towels and extra supplies. You could put this in a kitchen for additional storage. You could actually raise this, put a nice big thick top on this, and it could become a kitchen island if you wanted to. Yeah. You could use it in a baby's room. You could use this to hold sewing supplies. Any number of ways this piece could be used, and in any different room. It's always good to practice any technique that you are going to use. Practice it on something first. I used Debbie's DIY Prom Queen mixed with Debbie's DIY Vintage Linen. And I would say it's mostly vintage linen, believe it or not. I wanted a very pale blue, and then this is vintage linen up here. So now that we've got all this texture on here and I have sealed my inlay in place, I'll go ahead and I'm going to apply some clear wax first. When I'm using chalk paint, the chalk paint is very porous, and so when I apply something immediately to that porous surface, it's going to absorb it at a different rate and give me less of an ability to move that wax around. So
even though you already sealed it?
Because remember, I'm only using a 1/2 and 1/2. Yeah. I've put a couple misting coats of this, so it's sealing the inlay in place, but it's not necessarily providing a real stable, durable finish on which I can move wax around. Okay? With that base of wax on there, I'll be able to add my other wax on top of it and have an easier time of removing the dark wax and putting it where I want it and taking off excess wax also. We had 3 custom orders come in this week. One of them is due on Saturday. I promised her we would move it right to the top of the queue.
What is it?
It's not a big piece. It's actually she needed it for a place to store shoes. And so we kind of looked through our basement and came up with some options that were viable for her to use in her entryway, and we found the perfect piece. It was an old radio cabinet, and it had shelves already in it that somebody did, so JR had to put a back on it, and then he also trimmed out the front edge a little bit more. So we're painting that, and I'm going to make it really pretty for her, so that she's got a place to get the shoes off of the floor.
Okay.
Oops. So we spent the day at the lake yesterday, you guys, and
Lovely.
it was so beautiful. It's hot here right now.
Yeah.
So the front of the cottage on the lakeside was absolutely gorgeous, and we just spent the whole day out on the deck and in the water, but we woke up yesterday morning. It was a beautiful morning, and JR was down below kind of using the power washer to clean off the moss on the rocks, so we weren't slipping and sliding on the rocks. So I'm filming him and then watching the swallows. Right now, it's the most adorable thing ever. All along the break wall, there's these tubes, drainage tubes, and the swallows nest in there. And so the last several days, those fledgling swallows have been just so fun to watch. There's a slew of them. There's so many, and they all fly like all lopsided and bang into each other, and they're all like all over the place. They definitely don't have the skills as the other the adult swallows, and they swoop and dive, but it's just so fun to watch these little guys.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of them. So I'm filming that, and and I'm going down to show the break wall, and there are drainage tubes. Oh, well, hello, kitties. This is a surprise. My goodness. And so we had some kitties that were hanging out on the break wall and down below our decks. So we ended up this one little black and white kitty, and I shared the whole story yesterday. Oh my gosh, it was adorable. Yeah, the other ones were very skittish, really skittish. And I get that because they're basically out in the wild, But this one little one, she was littler than all the rest, and came right over and was just hung out with JR and with Chance.
Yeah.
Chance kind of took right over and became a mommy.
Yes.
Wasn't it all day long, Megan? All day. And that kitty stayed with us all day.
Yeah.
Here I'm applying the dark wax. It slides around a little bit easier once I have that clear wax base on the piece of furniture. Then I'll use some clear wax to remove any excess.
She just hung out with us all day.
Yeah.
And JR, the first video I took, of course, I was like, JR, can we keep it? And he's like, no. Well, let me tell you what, this man, he's an animal lover.
Every time I looked at him yesterday, he was smiling at that kitten. The biggest smile on his face. And it would climb right up on his shoulder.
Yep.
And snuggle right in.
Yep. We ended up just making a really nice little box for it with a lid, and just a really cozy little den, and just went to bed. And that kitty, we went out this morning, and Kitty was sleeping in that box, and as soon as JR opened the door to take his coffee out, and Chance has been a doll with him. He's really been great. So yeah, this morning I called and left a message with the vet, and JR went to pick up a kitty care package, and we got some prescriptions for the kitty, and she's had her first doses of antibiotic and little eye medication, and I was able to get, because she wasn't eating or drinking really, she had a little tiny bit, but then just wasn't consuming anything that we could see. So I did get a dropper full of kitten, like a milk supplement, just for kitties. That's the story of our 4th of July.
Yeah. Well, now we have a kitten.
And now we have a kitten. Now we need to name the kitten. Leave us a comment. Let us know.
Well, Sandy says she loves that the kitty matched Chance. You should name it Second Chance. Shannon asked, does applying the wax ever take the paint back off?
No. Mm-mm. We've been working on this over a period of 3 to 4 weeks, I think. So our paint has really had a nice opportunity to settle into place. And remember, I've also used that top coat mix with water, so that's kind of setting it in place as well. But once your paint is on there for a bit, you can go ahead and wax it, and it's going to be fine. I rescued a kitty off of the rocks on the break wall, and it was a couple of 4th of Julys ago. Our neighbor, and I saw this kitty down there, so I climbed down on those rocks, and I rescued that little kitty. Well, our neighbors love cats, and they took him in, and that cat has been with them, is now 15 pounds of cat. And it was this scrawny
And does
little
it go
baby.
back and forth from the lake to their other house?
They bring them every time they come for the weekend. They bring Lucky. So what I'm doing is I am taking some clear wax and I'm moving that dark wax around. I'm also removing any excess. And because I already have the clear wax on there, it's allowing me to move that wax all around on here. We were in the water almost all day. Oh my
Yeah, it was
gosh.
so nice.
It was great. We learned a new card game.
Yeah.
That
We
was
had the
fun.
stand-up paddle boards out. That was
The
fun.
paddle board.
Said Betsy for Betsy Ross.
Oh,
That's
that's cute. Oh, I love the grunge that this gives this. And it's not too grungy. We've had cats in our life. We certainly have. And we've had a bunch of them. Carlos came from a feral cat that came to the barn one day, Betty the barn cat.
Yeah.
And she, of course, came with a belly full of babies. We took care of her while she had her litter, and then we dispersed the kitties. We kept Carlos, a tuxedo cat.
Oh, Linda said she did the white linen dress and she just loves it. Thank you for the inspiration.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. And then, oh boy, did I discover quite by accident a little secret technique that I'll be sharing with you guys sometime soon to get a really awesome chippy look. So, oh, I cannot wait to tell you how that happened, and it was quite by accident. I have a little bit of white wax here, and so that can also be used.
The bigger one?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So this is white wax now?
This is white wax, and look at how it kind of softens that whole look as well. All right.
That looks great.
I love that white,
Oh, yeah.
that kind of duskiness that it adds to it. And you can be very strategic in where you apply these different waxes. Just like you can apply the dark wax to make things recede and look a little dirty in the crevices, you can apply the white wax to other highlighted areas. When you're trying to create like an old aged look, all of these different layers and all of these different, like you pile on technique over technique, texture over stamp, over distressing, over wax, all of those things, to me, it's like you're bringing up the age, like years of how an ultimate old finish happens. It started pristine and beautiful, but then over time and over generations, it just builds up those layers of grunge and textures of different paints, and I love to imagine what that would be and how it would look if I found this in somebody's 18th century chateau. We do have our private Facebook workshop coming up. We are doing a fabric journal, and I'm super excited about that. We've got lots and lots of people that have purchased the class. You need to get into the group. We start that next Monday and Tuesday, but when you do purchase one of our private Facebook workshops, you have lifetime access to that workshop as long as the lifetime of Facebook exists. So that's number one. Number two is this is July, and last year Christmas in July went over so well for us that we are excited to share a whole new batch of wonderful projects to inspire you this July, along with probably a couple of other special Christmas shopping adventures along the way. So that will be every Monday and Friday. We'll share something new and different for the holiday season coming up. 3, if you haven't already, we would love it if you would subscribe to our channel. We get so excited to be here live with you and join you as friends here on YouTube and on Facebook. So please subscribe or follow, and by all means leave a comment, give us a thumbs up, do all the things. There's our little tiny little baby kitty. Little babies. You look better already, I'm telling you. I feel like she looks better already.
Yes, she does.
Just paying attention to her and cleaning her and getting those first doses of medication in her. So this is our new kitty. She is a little tuxedo. Love to hear if you guys are interested in a Halloween journal and a Christmas journal. So let us know. We want to know if you're interested in that. Okay, so thanks for watching, you guys. We're gonna bow out, and I'm gonna go home and maybe float in the lake for a little bit. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll see you guys on Friday. Right? This is a space beside the cottage that doesn't get a lot of sunlight. It's a high traffic area, and we're fixing it up. Mowing and a flow is very important. I'm more about the flow. You're more about the mowing.
I'm all about the boat.
You're about both, yes. Oh boy. Yeah, so that will all be filled in with pea gravel, and JR is in the process of making about a 10-foot long table that will be able to fit our family comfortably so we can all eat together and play games together. We'll keep you updated on the kitty, the cottage project, and everything else going on at L&J Goods in the next video. Thanks so much for watching. You can join us at lnjgoods.com or at our brick and mortar shop in Medina, New York.
Your sandwich, set up your French fries, don't I?
Yes, you do.
I do all of that.
Yes, you do.
I really do.
Yes, you do. Okay, I apologize.
Thank you.
All right.
Because all of that can end in a heartbeat.
That's right. I could stop driving you to your hair appointment.
Why would you do that? You're already going. You're already going.
Just to prove a point.
Well, that would not be very nice.
No, you're right, it wouldn't.